Good evening. More than 1 million people in the Carolinas and Virginia are being warned to evacuate as a Category 3 hurricane brews off the Atlantic coast.
Hurricane Florence could make landfall on Friday. Shelters are opening across the region for those displaced by the storm, and National Guard members have been mobilized. Meanwhile, Red Cross volunteers are making their way east. Just today, 20 Red Cross volunteers from the Dakotas region were deployed to the East Coast.
And to give you a different perspective of the sheer size of Florence, take a look at this. As you can see, the main portion of the storm is just slightly bigger than the state of South Dakota.
And while people along the East Coast brace for the worst, just 1 year ago, a KELOLAND woman was preparing for the same thing. Allison Thompson lived in Puerto Rico when Hurricane Maria wiped out much of the island. It's estimated the Category 4 storm caused nearly 3,000 deaths on the island from September 2017 through February 2018. Now, as Hurricane Florence inches closer to the East Coast, Thompson is telling us about her experience. KELOLAND's Brady Mallory talked with her and is showing you why she says recovering from the devastation is still far from over.
It's a nice September day, and Allison Thompson doesn't take that for granted.
2017 is a year I'm not gonna forget.
This time last year, the Puerto Rico native was getting ready for Hurricane Maria to make landfall. She says the storm lasted for about 16 hours.
I can say that sometimes when I heard the wind or start to rain, I kind of got scared.
Before moving to South Dakota, she lived on the northeast part of the island. She says the storm was devastating, but what happened after it is still the worst part. Thompson says people were looting, and she could hear gunshots near her condo every night.
We needed to park our cars closer to the building because if we leave our cars in our parking lot, people come in and try to steal our gas, try to steal our cars. It was very messed up after the hurricane.
According to CBS News, 11,000 people were still without power when this year's hurricane season began in June. Fast forward to now, and people say they're still struggling with widespread damage and poor health conditions. Thompson says the power is back on, but it's shaky and goes out. She says it's hard knowing her mom and grandma are still there.
I was there at the beginning of August, and it was very depressing because a lot of stuff still the same since I left, and I have been here 10 months now.
Thompson has the luxury of a nice September day, but predicts it'll be at least 10 years before her friends and family in Puerto Rico can do the same.
A lot of people don't understand that we are part of the states and that we are United States citizens.
Brady Mallory, KELOLAND News.
Thompson says she and her fiance and son left with nothing, but are getting back on their feet and moving into a house in the area. As for Puerto Rico, she still sees the need for volunteers to help rebuild the area.